Hey Void, how you doing? Been a little bit. So, took a little bit of time off just to slack off, I guess. So, my immediate queue is getting a little long, so I'm going to try to bust out a few of those, as well as knock out some of my backlog. See how we do. Alright, so, when I was on vacation, when I was last posting, I was kind of focused on knocking through a few of those series that I just hadn't finished. Like, I started doing a bunch of reviews, didn't get all the way through. So, did all the Paranormal Activities. And so, I had a few in my Halloween collections that I'd yet to finish. So, okay, Halloween H20. Now, I've got a long history with this one. This was actually the first Halloween film I saw. And at the time, I actually just thought it was called Halloween H20, so I was in middle school at the time, and for some reason I just didn't wrap my head around that it was 20 years later. See, also, this was the first one I saw, so I didn't really understand that connection. And at the time, yeah, I really liked it. Looking back now, still it's okay, but it's just okay. I mean, what really brings us what is the cast, which I'm surprised how many names are attached to, well, a Halloween film. I mean, we have Josh Hartnett, we have Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Jamie Lee Curtis is back, and LL Cool J. So, you got some names on this one. And I think this is one of Joseph Gordon-Levitt's earliest films, and Josh Hartnett looks so young. So, it's kind of a trip looking back at this one. Okay, so now when I first saw this one, I hadn't seen any of the other Halloweens and only vaguely knew the Halloween stuff, so I didn't really think about how it connected into the greater Halloween mythos. Then fast forward to just either senior year in high school or just getting out of high school, I actually started watching through all of the Halloween films. So, and when I got to this one, I was trying to make it make sense in continuity. I didn't really grasp at the time that it was supposed to be that, for me, all sequels still, went in order. Reboots at the time really weren't that big of a thing. So, I was still trying to make it make sense with the Jamie Lloyd stuff. But they never referenced any of that, so I was just like, okay, maybe this is her mother, since this one goes into that Laurie Strode faked her death, took a different last name, so I was like, okay, maybe she just was unconnected from the other stuff and didn't really know what was going on over there, and now that that's wrapped up, Mikey's coming back here. If you stretch your brain, it can work, but for the most part, no, this is only a sequel to the first two Halloween films. The rest of them are outside the continuity and then for this plot line. So, H20, 20 years later. Jamie Lee Curtis is like the principal of a private school, and her son has grown up dealing with his mother's PTSD his whole life. And so he's trying to, pull away a little bit because, come on, Mom. It's been 20 years. He's not coming back. So, and he hasn't been seen in all that time. So, his mother and him argue while he's trying to go on this big school trip, but most of his friends aren't going to be able to go on that trip anyway, so he decides, okay, cool, just hang out with my friends here at school, whatever. Till his mom says, yeah, okay, fine, I'll stop. You're right, I've been overreacting, go ahead and go on the trip. So he pretends to go on the trip just so he can still hang out with his friends because, everybody he actually wants to hang out with is staying anyway. And lo and behold, Mikey shows up, and it becomes your standard slasher chase. And he seems to be going after, however, then Jamie Lee Curtis' son. While after all this time, he's now 18. So, I guess that's what triggers his thing is when you turn 8, if you're 18 on Halloween, he's gonna come get you. They don't really go into that much detail. They aren't trying to sell it. another kind of subplot, we're just kind of watching Michael get from wherever he's hiding to where Laurie Strode's there. I guess first he broke into Loomis's nurse's place to get the information. So at least they're trying to think of how Michael tracked him down. And we get like a cameo picture of Dr. Loomis. But for the most part, it's a middling slasher. None of the kills are that stand out. Most Halloween movies work best on atmosphere. Because he's a very simple killer. He's one guy with a knife, doesn't talk, has that Terminator walk going. I mean, Freddy, he's got an iconic weapon, dream powers, and quips out the ass. Jason does the tall, silent thing, but he uses the entire sporting goods store to kill with. And his kills always go way over the top. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you get that grittiness with the iconic chainsaw, as well as the whole cannibalism aspect. Chucky, it's a killer doll that's a wisecracker again. So, and Scream mostly goes on the mystery of who's the killer now. So, Michael works best if the atmosphere is really playing to him, because he is the most simple of the killers. He has some cool mythology backing him when you're not going into the cult aspects. If he's just the unstoppable, then darkness behind his eyes, stuff that Dr. Loomis is always spouting, that is cool and works. But he's simple. So if the movie has to build into that and play up the atmosphere around him. Otherwise, the whole movie just becomes simple. And that's what this one is. It's an easy movie to just veg out to. It's not bringing anything new. The tension really isn't all that up there. It's a basic teen slasher. Halloween H20, 20 years later, it's fine. It does what it sets out to do, but it doesn't go anywhere past that. I mean, it's got a decent budget, and it works with it, but it doesn't bring anything new to this. He's still just running around, he's got his knife, he's doing his thing. So, H20, I'll give it a 4 MacGuffins just because wasted potential. It's not a bad movie, but it doesn't really go anywhere. Except for the next one, which gives some frustrations there, but I have mixed feelings on the next one. But, get to that soon. Talk to you later, Boyd. Oh, and you may have noticed that this review is out of order from the last ones because I was just going back through and it looks like for some reason I misnumbered, so this one's going to be numbered differently so I didn't miss a number, and I don't want to just go back over the last 10 reviews reordering. So yeah, I'm an idiot. Talk to you later, Void.